Hi Sagittarius, welcome to Yellow Card No Tarot with me. My name is Carole and this is going to be a general reading for you for January 2026. And I hope you've all had good holidays and I hope that there was some healing that went on as well and you took some time to yourself and got some stillness during that what could be a very chaotic time for you. And so as we go into this new year, January 2026, which is going to be a very powerful year, a big change from 2025, believe it or not, there are a lot of things that are going to open up for us. And so I thought, you know, what reading can I give my signs this month? It's powerful. It's a powerful year. We're having another full moon, I believe it is. It's coming up in the beginning of January. And it's just been astrologically so very powerful. And I'm aware of the astrology that happens. I don't always mention it on my channel, only because I like to focus on the healing part of it, because this is a healing channel. And so yesterday there was a windstorm. I live in Eastern Canada, and it was very powerful. And I heard, it almost felt like there was a part of my house that was getting ripped off. And my cat was reacting to it, but I was too scared to go outside yesterday to look at it, and I sort of forgot about it. So when I woke up this morning, I looked out my bathroom window and I saw this, and it was a piece of what looked like a piece of a house that was torn off. And I sort of went into denial and I said, no, that's just some snow. No, maybe it's not my house. I looked at my neighbor's house and his trim was black. So I thought, okay, it didn't come from his house, because it's fascinating that what I heard yesterday came from the front of the house and somehow it made it to that back corner so that I could see when I looked out my window this morning. So to me, I'm very much in touch with nature. I'm very much in touch with anything random that happens in my life. I'm a shamanic practitioner, and I'm also someone that is been on a really intensive healing journey for my own complex trauma for the last 8.5 years. So I'm very in touch with what goes on around me, and I pay attention to all my triggers. And I grabbed my rattles this morning and I said, I'm going to go out to rattle to this piece of fascia that is sitting on the ground right now. And only because in the world of shamanism, everything is alive. And so I can rattle to anything and see, you know, why are you here? There's obviously a message here. When it's something random, when it's a random animal that shows up, or something like a piece of fascia that's ripped off my house. And so as I started rattling, I heard this message. What was it? I have it written down here. Yes, I couldn't stay here anymore. I had to leave. I couldn't stay here anymore. And I thought, that was, to me, and I always apply it first to my own life. And so to me, it was a message of I couldn't stay where I was, in the place I was, in the situation I was, and I had to leave. And so I can definitely apply that to my own life and where I am right now, and as I'm moving into something new for myself. I thought, there's my reading. There's my reading that I have to do for you today. And so I'm going to call this reading I Couldn't Stay Here Anymore. Couldn't stay there anymore. And so I thought, okay, what situation have you been in for too long? So I'm going to look at what situation are you sitting in right now, going into 2026, that you need to let go of, that you've been here for too long, and you're sitting in it right now. And then I want to look at what's blocking you from moving on. And so there's going to be something here that's coming up for healing for you. And it's preventing you. And once you heal this, that's where you're going to be able to move on. And then I'm going to finally look at some advice from the tarot. And I'm going to look at, once you decide to heal this and release it, and then sort of, you know, it could tell you what's next, or a little bit of advice to maybe something that can help you with the healing, as to what you need to do maybe to heal this. So to do this reading, I'm going to be using the Curious Travels deck for you, which looks like this. I love this deck. It's probably one of my favorite decks, only because I love the pictures. I love what I get out of it. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful deck to shuffle. And it always spits out usually just one card for me when I need it. I'm also going to be clarifying with the Tarot of A.E. Waite. And I'm going to pull a spirit animal for you, and maybe it's a spirit animal that you can think of, you know, holding on to for this year of 2026. It's been a while since I've pulled my spirit animal cards. I myself have I have a few power animals that I work with, and one in particular is one that's with me all the time as a shamanic practitioner, and anywhere I go, I can just drop in and ask it, you know. I could be walking and say, is this person safe coming up to me right now? Or, you know, what way do I need to take if I'm lost? But it's always with me. And so I encourage you, if you've never had a shamanic healing, to get one done, and maybe you could ask for to have a power animal. Oftentimes we can ask if we want what power animal's been with me all my life since I was a child. We all have one. We're all born with a power animal. People like to call it, you know, you heard the word guardian angel, but we all have spirit animals around us, power animals that are here to guide us. So I offer readings if you're interested. Readings, healings. I do offer personal tarot readings as well, and I offer shamanic healings, distance shamanic healing. If you've never had one done, it's a fascinating healing. It's very, very powerful. So those are linked in my description box below if you're interested in something like that. And if you're not really sure about it, you can always there's a 15-minute consultation that you need to do anyway. It's free, it's complimentary, and from that point on you can decide, you know, whether you want to work with me or not. It's totally up to you. There's no pressure whatsoever. So let's get started with your reading. I'm going to, like I said, I'm going to start off with pulling a card for you for what situation have you been sitting in for too long. So let's have one card right now. What situation have you been sitting in for too long? You have the Page of Wands that comes up for you as your first card. What's blocking you from moving on? So what is it that you need to heal? Sometimes it could be big emotions, could be memories. You have the High Priestess in reverse. And then what advice, that one wanted to come out. What advice does the tarot have for you? You have the Justice card. And I'm going to pull your spirit animal right now. I won't tell you what it is, but I'll pull it and we'll look at it at the end. We'll keep it a surprise for you. I love surprises, sort of. I don't know why I said that. It's like, I'm not sure I like surprises. I like, yeah, no, you have way too many here, so I'm going to have to, I remember it now that this deck does spit out sometimes. Oh, there we go. Okay, I hope you didn't see that. I'll put it in here. All right, so we're going to read that at the end for you. And then, let's start off with looking at what situation have you been sitting in. We start off, first of all, before I pull any cards further to clarify this, I'm going to talk about the Page of Wands for you. The Page of Wands is a situation you've been sitting in, and pages in my deck are inner children. And so there's an inner child here that needs healing. And we can have more than one inner child in our system. I know on my own, I do parts therapy for my own complex trauma healing. And I know that I have more than one inner child. And so this one in particular is the wand. It's the child in you, the inner child that knew when you were about 4, 5, 6 years old what you wanted to do. It holds your purpose. We have an inner child that holds our purpose. And so there's something here. There's an inner child that's holds your purpose from when you were younger. And for some reason, and it happens very often, almost to all of us, where we're meant to go in this lifetime is not where we end up. Because, I mean, we're always going in the right direction, but we can we can be led off to different paths along the way. And so there's some healing here that needs to be done around, and it looks like it has almost like a, trying to think of the word that it had, a salamander actually in his hand. He's holding that, so that might be significant for you right there. There's something here that, so yeah, there's some real healing. And I always say that your inner children are the ones that are tugging at your pant leg. It's like, are you listening to me? Do you hear me? I have these big emotions that I'm holding. I have sometimes memories that I'm holding for you. Do you hear me? And so let's get some more information about the situation that you've been in for too long. And I really think it's centered around this inner child that needs healing. So let's have a couple cards here for you. You have the Moon card, and then you have the Seven of Cups. Two cards, interesting cards. You start off with a Major Arcana card. It's really important that I focus on that card because it is the Major Arcana card. The Moon card talks about things that are hidden. You know, I was staring at the moon last night. It was around 4 o'clock in the afternoon, and I could see it so clear in the sky. And it was just beautiful because you could see like the crevices in it, right? And I thought, beautiful. Like it's mesmerizing, I want to say. And there's so many things that the moon is responsible for, you know, and I'm very much aware of that because I was walking along the ocean, and I'm aware of, you know, the high tides, the low tides, and just the energy pull that it has. And so, you know, I feel like there's a real pull here for you to get back into your body, because this moon card represents our intuition. And so in order to get in touch with our inner children and to find out what emotions they're holding or what big memories they have, we really need to get back into our body, because we cannot be in touch with our intuition, and that's our gut knowing, unless we're in our body. And it tells me right here what's going on and why you're not in touch with your intuition and why you need to get back into your body. We forget. We spend a lot of time in our minds. And this is what this card is telling me. Seven of Cups is, and it's in reverse because it's like, I don't think you're aware of this. Or maybe there's a lot of denial around it. But the Seven of Cups is this individual that's so distracted and confused and can't decide which way to go. And so maybe that's you, and maybe that was you during this holiday season where you're just like so distracted, and you maybe you realize it. You know I often find when I used to be in grocery stores and just get completely overwhelmed by the lighting and the people and the energy, and that reminds me of this card, right? Where you're really quite distracted. And I often call this card my card of dissociation. And so when we're that dissociated, when this card comes up from in my reading, it really tells me that you're living up in your mind, right? Your mind's in control. Your ego is in control. It's the one that's driving the ship, right? Steering the ship in your life right now, when there's a real need for you to get back into your body so that you can find out, you know, what do I need to do to heal my inner child? I have to get in touch with it. I have to listen to it. It has a message for me, and I'm wondering if it's about your purpose. And so the next card that comes up, and you know, you can't make this stuff up, but it's your high priestess. And so what's blocking you from moving on right now into the next because you're so caught up in your head and you can't see what direction you need to go in next. And so what's blocking you is your high priestess, another major arcana card. And the high priestess speaks about our intuition. And it is the first half of the feminine archetype in the major arcana. The second half is the Empress, and she talks about all our emotions, about being in our body. And so here you get what's blocking you. Well, your intuition when you were younger. I always think of this part which needs healing. Well, that's your younger self. That's your adolescent self. Like, what was it when you were younger that blocked your ability to get in touch with your intuition, that gut feeling? When we were about 4, 5, 6 years old, believe it or not, we are in our bodies and we are in touch with our intuition. And that's why kids are so, it's so incredible to listen to at a young age, because they're very, very intuitive. And too often they're blocked, or they're told they're saying crazy things when that's not true, because they are in touch with their intuition. And when you were younger, it was blocked. And so you learned at a very young age to stay up in your head, to go up in your head, because that's where it's safe up there. And oftentimes we get taught when we're younger that it's not safe to be in our body. And so I want to know, why was your intuition blocked when you were younger? What happened to you where you lost connection to your gut feeling? And so let's take a look at this. And this is going to give me more clarity on what you need to heal. So what was it that made you go up in your head and out of your body? Whoa. There's something that happened to you. You have the Hangman, which is another major arcana card. The Hangman is, and it's in reverse, this card. And so the Hangman is somebody that's hanging upside down, very comfortable. But it's fascinating when you're upside down. And I realize this when I have my cat in my arms and he's upside down. He kind of has this look on his face that is like, hey, this is cool. It's like he's seeing things in a different perspective. And so something happened when you were younger where you weren't comfortable to be in your own skin. There's something that happened to you, and you may or may not know about it, and it could have happened over a period of time where you didn't feel comfortable to be in your own skin, right? And so when we're younger and we don't feel comfortable to be in our own skin, we take our ego will take us out of our body, and it'll put us up in our head, because that's where it's safe. We don't feel our emotions, because when you're comfortable to be in your own skin, well, you're comfortable to feel your emotions, aren't you? And so there's something that happened. I'm wondering now, why didn't you feel comfortable to be in your own skin, to stay in your body, right? Because as I said, you have to be in your body to be intuitive. You need to be in your body to access your intuition. So what happened? What happened to you when you were younger that took you out of your body, where you just didn't feel comfortable? Let's have one card here. Almost. There we go. Queen of Swords. Queen of Swords. Queen represents our feminine side. And the feminine side has beautiful qualities. We all have two sides to us. We have a feminine and a masculine side. And the point of this whole the journey of the Fool in the tarot is to bring yourself to a place of wholeness. And And that means to have a balance between our masculine and our feminine side. Sometimes we can be more masculine or we can be more feminine. It has nothing to do with our gender. But this feminine part of you, and in particular, this feminine quality, and it's the quality of authenticity, because this queen holds the sword of authenticity. I often call it the sword that's going to cut through the bullshit. And so when you were younger, there was a part of you that learned that it wasn't comfortable to be in your own skin because the person that you were wasn't acceptable to people around you, whether it had something to do with maybe your emotions weren't accepted. You were told things when you were younger that, you could have acted out. And, we were told so many times to put that away, put those behaviors away, right? And so we really learn at a young age to put that mask on. And our authenticity is hidden right here in what I call the shadow part of you, in your unconscious. And so you learned at a young age that it was dangerous for you, to be authentic, right? And so that's why you are in your head. You continue to live in your head. And that's what this Seven of Cups is all about, like I said, where you continue to dissociate. And that's what dissociation is when we're just not comfortable to be in our own body, because that's where all our emotions are. That's where our true self is. Our body is, being in our body, living in our body, is living from authenticity. But we're so scared to go there because we've been taught that it's an unsafe place to be when we were younger. And so what message, what advice does the tarot have for you right now? Well, you have the Justice card. And I love this card for Justice. What's she doing? Well, she's trying to balance herself out, right? There's some balance that needs here. She's on a tightrope. And so I see this as another major arcane. It's powerful that you've had one major, actually have two here, but you've had some big energies come in for you from the major arcana. And the Justice card says, well, the universe wants to balance this out. And oftentimes, if you look at the Justice card, look at the top of this card, what's lying at the top of this? There's your authenticity, right? And so the universe wants to bring that back. The universe wants to pull you back into your body. It's very important that you come back into your body, because you've forgotten that it's not just about this mind right here. Well, you have this other part of you, and that's where your real self is going to come in, right? And that's what this little ace, this page of wands here is holding for you. It knows your direction. It had your purpose, your true purpose, your authentic self, who you really are. Let's get some more information to clarify this justice, this balancing out. How are you going to do this, right? I can tell you that you need to balance this out, but what are we going to do? What do you need to do right now? So I need some help for you, some clarifiers here for you. What do you need to do? Not sure. Couple cards for Sagittarius. What Sagittarius need to do right now? One. No, another major arcana card for you. Three of Cups. Okay. Well, you have the Three of Cups and the Hierophant card in, no, it's upright, but the Three of Cups is in reverse. Three of Cups card, first of all, let's talk about that before we get to the Hierophant. Three of Cups talks about this feminine energy again. So this is the second time. Well, I'm gonna point out to you the feminine energy that's sitting on the table right now, because we're talking about the balance here for you, right? And by the way, the body is the feminine for you. So I think there's a real need for you to move from your masculine, your mind, that you've been, with this Seven of Cups being in your mind all the time, trying to sort things out in your life by using your mind. And I think it was my therapist at one point told me that you can't use your mind to like, I forget how she said it now. I got to write it down so I remember it. But it's like, I've heard so many people, like for instance, I'm going to give you an example. People say, well, I'm trying to regulate my emotions. Well, you can't use your mind to regulate something. You have to use your body. All your decisions and everything has to come from your body. Your mind isn't something where you heal yourself from, because it can play a lot of tricks on us. And so the feminine energy that's sitting here right now for you is the moon, your intuition. And then you got the high priestess, which is your intuition again. And then you got the queen of swords, feminine energy. And then you get the three of cups, feminine energy. So you have a lot of feminine energy in here that's really wanting you to, like I said, get back into your body. I sometimes repeat myself a lot on these cards in my readings, because I feel it's important, because sometimes we can hear things and we'll just kind of deny it and, and not hear it, basically. And so what's the three of cups for you that's in reverse? The feminine energy here, 3 creative feminine energies for you. And they're celebrating their feminine energy. But this card, so this card really is a card that says, it's time for you. It's time for you to get in touch with and celebrate your feminine energy, because, like I said, it has nothing to do with gender, but this is in reverse here. And so I know that there's a real part of you that doesn't want, there's a denial. There's a denial on your part that you even have your body, that there's a need for you to get back into your body. But, it talks about creativity as well, this feminine energy, this 3 of cups. And so there's a real, I figured it out, I'm just hearing it now. You're needing a balance between this feminine energy that you've been really fighting. It's the creative part of you. It's the authentic part of you that you're trying to bring in, right? This reading is trying to bring in the authentic part of you that's sitting here in your unconscious and needs to be healed. But this last card is really important for you. It's the Hierophant card. And this is these 2 figures right here that are listening to this papal figure. It's like, I almost call them these 2 sponges that are taking everything that this papal figure here is telling them. I want you to picture yourself as a child, and in listening to these authority figures that you had growing up, and you know who they are, whoever they were. What things did you learn from them? In other words, how were you wired? What were you wired to believe about yourself? That was bullshit, right? This is the sort of bullshit that's sitting in your shadow. And you buried it. You buried your authentic self. You buried your truth. And instead of that, you went up in your head and you continue to believe how you were wired. And so the message from the universe here is saying, it's time for you to look at, how are you wired about what you think you are and who you think you are? Because this whole reading is about, I couldn't stay here anymore. You can't stay here anymore. You can't stay in a place where you believe this is the way you are. If you're sitting in, for example, depression, and you've been sitting in that for all your life, and you're convinced that I'm always going to have this. Maybe you're on medication for it. I'm always going to be on this medication. That's not true. You're not meant to sit in that depressive state. And you can apply that to anything else that you've been sitting and believing about yourself. I believe there's something you want to do, because there's a little part of you, which is the start of your reading, and it's holding your purpose. So I believe there's something you want to do, and you're telling yourself a story around it, but it's the story that's not true. It's like, I can't do this. I don't have enough money. I can't do this. I'm stupid. I can't do this. I'm not pretty enough. What the hell is it that you want to do? that you're telling yourself that you can't for some reason. And that's what you need to get to. I'm going to end this, Sagittarius, with this beautiful coyote spirit. And it says, trust in divine detours. Right? That fascia that ripped off my house. I'm going into let's just go on this first. Do you find that you are being led on a strange detour in your life right now? Yeah. And that's what I'm thinking about the fascia, right? It's that I can't stay here anymore. You're being pulled. You're being pulled into a different direction with this coyote spirit. Coyote spirit's trickster energy is designed to bring you situations that will teach you lessons you have forgotten to learn. Perhaps you need a taste of failure before you experience success, a need to feel disappointment, and maybe that's what you're sitting in right now, before you can truly appreciate the joy, the love, and the prosperity that is coming up for you. So Coyote Spirit reminds you to laugh about the unexpected twists, to develop humility and gratitude while releasing your attachments to the form of your desires. So trust in divine order right now. Coyote spirit is a divine helper. No matter what seems to go astray, things are exactly as they are supposed to be. And that's what you're asked to believe right now, is things are exactly where they're supposed to be. But I believe that you are being pulled in a new direction right now. All right, Sagittarius, I want you to have compassion for yourself, for what you're working through, what you've been sitting with, or maybe sitting in for too long. This healing journey is very difficult, but it's the most important journey of your life. So I'll talk to you soon. Bye.